There you go. That's how you fold a paper filter for your pour over. And if you want to get, that's a basic way. I was just making sure that I fold over the line here to keep that out of the way, and I've done a 4-fold. But you can actually even go more and turn it into a even bigger pattern just by folding each of those quarters that I've already done. And you'll make a really cool pattern, and that just allows that to fit beautifully into your pour over. There we go, just going one more. One more again. There you go. See how cool that looks? Pop it in, sits even nicer. Hey, welcome to Artisti Live. And what is today? It is World Coffee Day, and I thought I would share with you a beautiful pour over. What we're going to do today is we're actually going to make our Halo. It's an Ethiopian coffee. It's an absolute cracker. I've been enjoying this one as one of our new filter options that we have on our website. One of my favorites. So yeah, I'm just going to brew this up. Oh, what I need is actually the recipe card. Give me a sec. So there you go. All our coffees come with a recipe on the back for batchies, espresso, for filters, and even cold brew. So if you pick up one of those, you can basically, know what you're doing with the product, because you've got to have a recipe for everything that you use. But we're going to go with 15 grams and 255 grams in that pour over. So just going to get my gram weight out here, get that ready. But if you just got any questions, hey, pop a question down below. Ryan's behind the camera, and we will happily... Oh, this is going a bit weird. Let's get it off this setting. Okay, our scales, if you have the different light in the different points, essentially you're in a different setting. Get out of that one. Let's turn that off and see if I can start again. Look at that. A little bit. Oh yeah, it depends on the setting that you're on. There you go, grams. There we go. Now we're just back to a good old standard setting. If you know anything about Artisti scales, you can go in the app and you can create yourself a whole pour over recipe. It's pretty cool. But today I'm just keeping it pretty simple and literally just trying to weigh out my 15 grams of coffee, which is happening there. There we go. Oh, don't lose a bean. A couple more. Here we go. 15 grams, there you go, spot on. So what we can do is we can get ourselves ready by weighing our whole station. So we've just got the Hario pour over station there. You've got a pour over, sorry, a, what are they called again? 300 ml, I can't think what it's called. My brain is dead. What do you call it? My brain's dead. What do you call it? Server. A server, that's the word they call it. That's an O1 server. I wasn't going to call it a jug because the jug's like a milk jug. Anyway, it's a server. We've got our plastic O2 size pour over with your O2 style paper in there as well. So going to grind that on our ZM over here. We have this set ready for pour overs and everything, which is it's 0.600 on here, which is a pour over setting essentially, which we know for our batches and paper filters. Pop it on. Hot starting it, always get your single doses to run the motor first before you pop in your beans, and you get a far more consistent grind particle size. Have a smell of that one. Oh, that is so good, so good. We're going with 93 degrees water, so I've got the Stag kettle here. Now we're just going to get that paper all wet. All right, so get any, funny flavors people talk about that they get out of the paper, get that through. You can't sort of rinse them enough, and it also heats up your server down the bottom. Once you're done, I'm just going to realign that just so it's not stuck to the edges of your pour over. I'm going to not bump into Bianca there. Tear off the whole station, pop in my coffee nicely just in the middle there at the bottom. Now you can do lots of different things with that if you want to. You could get a needling tool, do a WDT, whatever you want to do, but I'm just going to keep it really simple today. Just level it out and get ready for our pour. Re-tear that because we've got the coffee in, and we're going to start our timer. Here we go. I'm going to do our first pour. I'm going to go for 70 grams. There we go. Leave it for 30 seconds. Just join us making a beautiful Halo Ethiopian Yirgacheffe. It's natural processed, wash coffee this one, I should say. Available in our store right now. Ben, our head roaster's been curating a whole range of single origins, which is cool. So we've got espresso roast, filter roast now available. And you can win cool prizes by buying those as well. So we've just passed our 30 seconds, so I'm going to go for my second pour. Making sure keeping everything wet. Going all the way around. Even saturation is the key there. Getting a nice good flow rate. Now I know there's a whole different crazy ways you can play with this. You can swirl it and do lots of different things, but if you're just starting out with pour overs, just keep it simple. Just get the water in, get the timing right, get the grind particle size right before you start to really agitate or play with them, because you can get all your fines and get them to settle down into the paper cone, and that will essentially make it block up or choke, and you don't want it to stall through your process. So we're a minute 20 through at the moment. Got 145 grams, so just went a smidge over on the 2 lots of 70 gram pours there, but I'm happy with that. And I'm keeping my water at 93 degrees. You could go a little bit cooler if you needed to as well. So that's just starting to hit a minute 45, and I'm just going to pour out my final volume there. Taking this out to, actually want to go to 255 is what we have as our recipe. So 15 grams to 255. Whoa, look at that, 255, bang on. How good is that? That's going to draw through and give us our beautiful pour over. So, got any questions? Hey, welcome to the live. Welcome to World Coffee Day. How good is that? We've got to celebrate everything from farmers to processing to, you know, baristas, roasters, and everyone in the whole industry today. You know, give everyone a shout out. If you're getting a coffee in your cafe, make sure you say thanks to the product, the bean, where it comes from. Got a few little beans here from my own tree, which I'm going to share with you in a minute. And yeah, if you've got any questions about any of that process, anything about coffee, pop it down below. Ryan's happy to let me know about them, and we'll answer them for you today as we brew some cool coffee. Pretty excited. We're only 12 days time. We're on a plane, Ryan.
Crazy. It's coming around fast.
Yeah, it is. A lot to do between now and then, but host Milan, we're going to be there. We do have to release that, let everyone know where we're going to be, times and things, but we'll pop that out into post. But yeah, we'll be on the Mazda stand. We're going to do some stuff with Amazocco as well, in the out of the box, which is cool, and also with Lilith as well. So yeah, and then cruising around, showing everything that the show has, which is new and cool in the industry this year. So I'm just going to finish that brew right up. Yeah, look at that. 3 minutes 30, totally brewed. Don't want to overdo it, but we're very, very close. Little tip there is make sure you get your lid on your server, trap in the volatiles, and that is going to be a much tastier coffee.
Question, what's the ideal ratio for an excellent V60 brew?
Yeah, good question. I need my glasses to read it, but I think it's 1 to, what is it, 1 to 17 is the recipes that we're going for on our pour overs there. So you can expand that out if you're going for a 1 cup or a 2 cup, but 1 to 17 ratio. So 60 grams to basically 1 litre is what we're looking for in pour overs at the moment. So there you go. I think these are on our website as well. Are they listed on the product? So if you buy the product, you can check the card. Yeah, should be on there. If not, we'll go back and check that. But that'll allow you to expand and play with any sort of coffee, because it's all about ratio or your recipe that you can then play with different roasts. The lighter you go, the hotter the water should be. So start playing around that 93 up to 96 degrees probably, depending on the flavour and the profile that you're trying to get. I'm going to get a little bit of this in a cup. That's just playing up a bit, isn't it? Oh, making some crazy noises there through the speakers.
Hey Luke, will you ever ship coffee to South Africa?
South Africa, I don't know. Maybe. We've got a lot happening on the website at the moment.
There's a lot going on there. You can't say no.
Yeah, you can't say no.
Definite possibility.
Possibility, yeah. We got a bit of a hurdle there with the whole US and tariffs and things, and we just need to rebuild all of that at the moment. So hopefully that'll be up and running in the next couple of weeks again. You can buy digital downloads and things like that from US, Canada, New Zealand and UK. So technically you can go to that store and buy on those for those areas, our coffee, drip bags, things like that, and a bit of merch. But the US itself at the minute is just stuck. So we just got to work on that. Yeah. There we go. A bit of a lovely batchy. What am I saying? Pour over, I should say. I haven't had enough coffee today.
Not enough?
I have not had enough coffee, and I don't think I got much sleep last night. Anyway, Ryan?
This is looking good. Thanks, mate.
Oh, that's good. That is clean. That's really, really clean. What is it saying for the mouthfeel, the taste of this coffee? Get the old specs on because I can't see anymore. Sweet citrus, black tea and peach. Definitely getting the black tea in there at the moment. Oh yeah. Peach, green peach. Not sweet peach, I reckon, in that at the moment. Maybe we can get a different temperature in the water and bring up a bit more sweetness in that. There you go. This wonderful coffee produced in the high mountains of Yirgacheffe at the Halo washing station, the collection point for the farm for 170 farms that provide high quality coffee cherries. Highly skilled pickers ensure that only the ripest coffee is delivered, while processing and drying is expertly controlled on raised African beds, allowing for airflow and consistent drying over 15 to 20 days. The washed coffee is bursting with classic Yirgacheffe flavours, citrus, black tea and peach. There you go, get your hands on some of that. If you're in Australia at the moment, if you buy one of any of our filters or espresso ranges from Single Origin, you go in the draw to win a Breville Lux Brewer, one of these beasts. Yeah, absolutely awesome. That's the new and improved one. We've had the Precision Brewer for quite some years, and it is the backbone of our pour-overs for our cafe partners. Simple, easy to use. A lot of people use them at home as well. But the new Lux Brewer is really cool. You've got a lot of extra options like cold brews and pour-overs. You can move the water tank and dial in the recipes a little bit better as well with the menu system. So really cool, definitely worth looking at. Yeah. You got a question? Anyone got a question?
What's the other thing with World Coffee Day that's happening here today?
Oh, World Coffee Day. Oh yeah, so if it's happening, there's two promotions that are running right now for World Coffee Day. The first is Latte. Latte is doing amazing deals across, they're basically combination range machines, the Anna, the Elizabeth, what are the other names? I can't think right now. The Kate, and another one, and Baratza grinders as well. So some great deals on our store. It's only for 10 days, I think, 10 days. So it's like a pre-Black Friday sale. So if you're looking for a great deal, jump on there and grab those. But if you're on our online store today, you can get 20% off our coffee. So artisti.com.au, jump on, get 20% off our beans, whether they be blends, the singles.
One day only flash sale.
Our drip bags. Today only, that's it, one day. We don't often do discounts on coffee like this, but yeah, if you can support us, we'd love you to grab yourself a bag and enjoy that as well.
Nick says, wonderful to watch as a morning coffee. Well done, guys, always informative. I watch your YouTube clips many times. Curtis Knight said, let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Yeah, right. another shrimp on the barbie, mate, for sure. We don't call them shrimp, but yeah, it's funny.
Hello. Yep.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. Hey, look, I'm going to put up a little reel on my own little channel, Luke Coffee Oz there as well, whether Ryan shares that or not, I don't know. But this is what I did this morning. I picked some cherries for you off my tree. It's harvest season right now, but this is just something I've been working on. So this morning, you'll see I jumped out to the tree. It's ripening time, and to be honest, I was a little early, but I got one beautiful red cherry. That's how I want to pick them. And these ones, I just felt like I did more than one red cherry to show you this morning. So, you know, a couple of those a little bit early. But yeah, picked those from the tree. And this is what I picked last week. So we've got some washed process that were happening here. We did actually a 2-day fermentation on these. This is parchment at this stage. So you've got your cherry. If you squeeze it, this is like super juicy. All right, super sweet and super slimy. Look at this. come on out. All right, they are the slipperiest little things in the world, and that is basically mucilage. And you can process this in different ways, and the way you process it is going to be what's going to be found on the actual coffee. So if we ferment it, get rid of all this mucilage and then dry it straight out like this, it's going to be, and wash it, that'll be a wash coffee. If we left the cherry on it and let it just dry like this and go hard, that is natural process coffee, where this mucilage basically gets sweet because of the sun and then oxidizes and caramelizes and does all crazy stuff and impregnates that green cherry. That's where you get that funky sort of flavor coming through. If we then use this and pop it into, let's say, a bag and not let oxygen get to it, that would be some sort of anaerobic or carbonic maceration of some sort that could happen because you've got a you're not letting air basically get in there, so you can basically ferment it and do things like that to it. So that's what you get on a lot of fun, funky coffees these days. But essentially, whatever you do with that, you're then going to have to dry it. I need to just get that off my hands. Oh. They are slippery little things. You end up with basically what we call parchment. Now, I don't really want wet hands when I touch this stuff. I really want dry hands. Hang on. Right, so they say you can hear really good parchment. So when it's dry, it makes a beautiful crackling sound. All right, a little bit more to go on that. It's only been for a week, but basically what's happening, all right, still a little bit deep. We want a little bit more rustly and a little bit more, more noise out of that one. But essentially, you then have to crack this open. Oh, there you go. It's come off all right. All right, parchment comes off. You've got silver skin, all right, which is all this stuff here. All right, little flaky stuff. You want to get rid of that. Some people say it's a bit bitter when they taste that part. And there you got your green cherry. Now the silver skin will always lie in the seam of a bean like that. Really hard to get that out, but when you roast, that's what we call chaff essentially, and then you want to get that out as well. But there you go. Homegrown, Australian, huge, 1 metre above sea level, because the tree's about 1 metre high. That is my homegrown coffee. Pretty excited. I love this time of the year when we'll be able to play with this coffee. Last year this is so sweet, so juicy, and really surprised us how great the quality was. So once you take the cherry off, you can dry it, which is like this. And that's called cascara. So essentially that outside cherry is going to be used as a tea. Pop that in some hot water. It's really sweet, really fruity, a little bit of jasmine-y kind of flavours sort of come through with that. But that's really enjoyable. You can do multiple brews with the cascara there.
I wonder what the caffeine content of the tea would be.
Good question. Good question. I don't know.
Interesting.
Anyone know? The caffeine content's something I don't know a lot about. Yeah. I really need to spend some time jumping in that, or maybe one day we get a caffeine meter.
If anyone knows, let us
yeah.
in the comments.
They're sweet, juicy. As that cools down, that's getting a lot of new flavours into that halo as well. So there's some coffee cherry stuff for you. What else we got going on? It's coming in sale time and spring or summer for us. Just out of winter now, so everyone's getting into cold coffee. Cold coffee's becoming huge. Matcha, boy, isn't matcha becoming a topic? That is huge. If you haven't got that around the world yet, but yeah, everyone wants their matcha latte or matcha strawberry lattes right now, and cold coffee, iced coffees is huge. So that's a big trend that's happening for us coming into the summer. And what else? We've just got a lot of other new cafes coming on board. So hey, shout out to all the new cafes that have come on board with Artisti Coffee here locally. It's great to be growing into that summer season. The online is going really great, so everyone's buying coffee, machines, equipment. That side of the industry is going really big as well. People are trending to try and look to save money in certain different ways. So having a home machine is definitely a way to do that. Buying a bag of beans and then brewing yourself at home is definitely going to give you an awesome cup at the right price. Yeah, what else?
Can you talk through tamps and the different styles of tamp that you can get?
Oh, well, I can talk through tamps for you.
We're going to be a good go.
All right.
He's got self-leveling tamps there.
Self-leveling tamps, different size, different tamps, curved or flat. We don't have any curves. Oh, that's a little bit tricky. All right.
Can we get a curved one from? We've got an LM.
The only curved one we'll have is an LM box, which we won't have there.
No.
No, it's too hard. So yeah, tampers. Look, you've got to have a tamper that fits your basket, 100%. If you don't have the right size or the right diameter to fit your coffee basket, you're going to get huge channeling around the outside of your coffee basket. And how I can demonstrate that, if we grab this. Oh yeah, I'll grab that one. That's got some hot water in there. You might wanna, if you wash your basket, you've got to.
I wouldn't have burnt my milk if I wasn't giving it to you.
Oh.
So.
If you ever wet your basket, you've got to pop it out because you always get heaps of water in it. Like, it stays in there. There's a vacuum that happens between that. The only way you don't get that vacuum is if you've got a bottomless portafilter. But like, those drips will be part of your first espresso. So make sure you get rid of those. All right, so if we get our dose, all right, 58mm handle, which is basically a standard commercial size for something like Lamborghinis or San Remo's and lots of other different brands. And we pop in our dose. Okay, and if we get a bit leveled it out, little trick there. If you want the coffee to go that way, tap on the side you want it to go, and it'll sneak towards your hands. Bring it back that way if you want as well. See that? Cool little trick. Actually, there's a clump there. We can work with that. So see this big ball here that's come out? We would use a needling tool to do that. Now, one thing about this cool little tamper here is it is a 50mm, but inbuilt is your needling tool. So there you go. You can go and get rid of those clumps. Now, needling really does help your coffee puck. It allows, it's like sifting flour basically. It allows the water to pass through evenly, getting rid of any of these boulders or clumps. So you do the deep level, the mid level, and then the high level. I don't have a funnel on top of this, so I'm trying to be very careful not to make this overflow. But essentially,
pretty good.
Yeah, there you go. Normally,
I would have had it all over the bench.
if you go deep, you got to go the very bottom where you hit the basket, but usually have a funnel on top and it fluffs it right up. But these are cool. That allows you to look after your needles and not break them. But essentially a tamper, right? So this is 58mm. This is a 53mm. This is the size you use on a standard Breville or some other entry-level sort of style machines. A lot of these entry-style machines give you a plastic tamper, and they're just not good enough. The shape, the size, the weight, all of that just feels pretty ordinary. So an upgrade is definitely the way to go. But if we were to use a 53mm tamp, you'll see this is over-exaggerating, right? But if I press down like that, we have missed all around the outside here with no tamping. The water would come into this coffee. It'll sit on the top of that coffee that we've tamped and then just flow straight around the outside and under-process essentially the coffee. So water's lazy, it's going to go through the path of least resistance, which will go around the outside and under-brew your coffee. So you've got to get a tamp that fits. All right, so that's a easy example to show 53 into 58. But if we went to something a bit more like, these would be standard 53s. Yep, standard 53. So we can then do this needling tamper. If we now do another tamp, okay, it fits, but you can still see that there's a little bit of coffee around the outside edges. And is it level? Well, no, it's not level at all. And this is the biggest issue with coffee when people do tamp. If you don't have it level, the water is just going to go down and process the right-hand side of that coffee. So you might look to get yourself a self-leveling tamper or a pressure tamper as well. You can basically wind these up and down to the depth, and some of them have a little click in them as well, but you've got this extra ring on the outside, so it keeps it flat and level and allows you to tamp nice and even. So if you pop that on, and then we just press, okay, it's going to be flat and level, which is great. Now you might have noticed that move just a little, moves a little bit left and right. So you can get an even more precise tamper, something like a 58.55mm. Now what that will do is get right down the outside edge and really reduce any of that channeling that's going to be around the outside. Now when you do that, you can't have this whole depth, probably this one here is better. This whole depth can't be the 58.55mm. It's too big, it'll bind up in your basket. So if you're ever tamping and you're getting binding, you need to get a tamper that actually only has the higher, the larger width in the first like 2mm, 58.55 for the first 2mm, and then it goes back. That allows you to actually go down through your basket. You may also have an issue with, is there a ridgeless there? You can steal that handle, take that one.
That's ridgeless.
Yep, what's on the naked handle just over there? That's a ridged? Yeah, great. I'll have that one, yeah. Okay, that one, yep. So people don't understand about ridged or ridgeless. It's pretty easy to explain that to you. All right, so that is a ridgeless basket. You can see it just goes straight down all the way, and that is a ridged basket. There's a little line, a little seam in there. There's two things that really does. That allows us to know what point the basket is going to be totally full, and usually where it touches the shower screen. So you want to have some space in between those. But also, if we pop that out, basically the spring, group spring wire here, which I just can't see, there it is, that one there, will sit and hold that basket in place. So it'll just pop over that and hold the basket into there. So it just doesn't come out as easy. If you get a ridgeless basket, the wire still does the same job, but it doesn't hold it in as well. So you've got a pro of getting a 58.55, let's say, tamper that will tamp perfectly all the way down that same size, but it might sort of pop out, but not a real big issue. I mean, the springs are so cheap. You just keep them nice and locked into the groove there, which is the key, and then pop it in. There you go, nice and firm. They're the VSTs, they're pretty cool, pretty popular on the website. But yeah, they allow the flow to be the same depending on whichever size basket you have. So they basically work out the holes, the number of them, and the size of them. So it doesn't matter if you're going a 15, an 18, 20, 25 gram basket, the flow rate will be the same. So essentially you can have multiple handles and not have to change your grind all the time.
If anyone did want to see an example of that tamp with the extra step on it,
Yep.
jump onto our website and search Pullman Big Tamp.
Oh yeah, big step.
Pullman Pullman Big Step.
Pullman Big Step,
And,
yeah.
You can see what it looks like there.
Yeah, so a lot of machine manufacturers give you a free tamp when you buy a machine, which is nice of them. And a quick mill give you a timber handle, tamper, and even Lamazocco do a really nice metal tamp as well. But they do have a convex or concave. Which one's the outway? Convex, I think it is. Convex curve?
Convex is, yeah.
Convex is out.
Yep.
Yeah, they have a convex base on them, not a flat base. So that then matches your shower screen, because your shower screen is that convex shape as well, but it tends to push the water into the center of your extraction, which we want to try and process the whole time, all the way through, evenly through that coffee bed. So we like a flat tamper, and that's where your big step can get out nice and wide to the edges. Or shout out to Latte, to be honest. Latte in the Mara X and the Biancas give you a wooden handled 58.55 tamper like a big step, free with every machine. They are the only manufacturer doing that. That is a point of difference for them for sure. So that's pretty cool. Hey, if you just joined us, we're just playing for World Coffee Day. Happy World Coffee Day to everyone out there. Hope you're enjoying a beautiful brew. If you've got a question, pop one down below. Happy to answer it on anything. If you missed the start of the video, we brewed a beautiful Halo washed Yirgacheffe coffee. So pop back and have a look at that. It's tasty, and we just covered some different tampers and some bits and pieces there today.
We do have a couple of questions, mate.
Sure.
Jarvid says, what size baskets do you use and how many grams do you use in them? I find I need to put more than 20 grams in my 20 gram VST basket.
Yeah, so we used this basket size here, which people call a triple. Sometimes it's labelled a 22, sometimes it's labelled 25 gram basket. But that's a 22, and a 25 seems really, really big. But we use 22.5 grams. And you can do that 22.5 grams in either a 22 basket or a 25 gram basket. So that's what we aim for. And then we do our 1-to-1 for a ristretto or a 2-to-1 for a normal or what you might call a double shot. So 22.5 grams. We refer to that in all our videos. If you're looking at our digital manual guide, we've got different basket sizes. So your single, your normal Italian double, and then you have the straight wall that we have here. And you'll see that they will be listing certain size of those baskets, but the amount of coffee we put in there is a little bit higher. It's usually 2 to maybe 2.5 grams more. And then we go a lot finer to make sure that you're below the ridge on your basket. So that's the key point. If you're not sure, fill right up just below that ridge by about 1 or 2 mil. So when the water comes in, it allows to expand and then and brew nicely.
Got a question from Ed. Does tamping pressure dictate extraction rate?
It does. You can over pressure your tamp, but we try not to do that. A lot of people have been tamping really hard for years because they had a really coarse grind. But we seem to have hopefully educated people not to tamp that hard. So you just want to go firm till it stops. I think our auto tamps are set on 14 kilos. Yeah, 14 kilos. Used to be, what should I say, 18 pounds or something like that of pressure, which we never knew really what that was for us in Australia because we're kilos. But 14 is really good for us. And how do you measure that? Well, I just tell people put your hand down flat on a bench and just firm till it stops. It shouldn't hurt, but you might just feel your knuckles sort of feel a bit of pressure, and that's usually pretty good. But being consistent in a coffee bar is really what it's about. Just making sure that, you know, if I'm tamping or Bianca's tamping, we're the same. If you've got someone who's just allocated to shots, make sure they just stay on the shots and tamp to their pressure and adjust the grind to that, because you know, we tend to find you get a bit lazy or a little bit tired. In hot days you tamp harder, and it's really the tamp pressure tamp pressure that's the issue, as opposed to the day or the grind being the issue. So yeah, hope that helps. I don't need to make a coffee. Well, 3/4 fulls, AC. What's that?
Do you want to use your brew one?
Oh,
Thank you.
another bag. Oh, that's a well-sealed bag. There you go, got it. I got it, mate. There you go. Cool.
Hey Luke, what,
Yeah.
What temps are you running on your machine usually?
Yep, is that almond there?
Yeah.
We are running 93 degrees. I like a 92, personally, 92.5. Almond, where it is up there. And it works well with our blends for sure. So if you're going to singles, you want to go a bit hotter. But if you are blends, I reckon 90, 93, 94 for most blends is good. If you're going dark roast, you can go a little bit lower if you want to. It really comes down to taste. You've got to taste it at different temperatures. Go in half-degree changes, and you'll find a much better flavour change through those. So,
Someone asked, will we do a live for latte art? I reckon it'd be cool maybe to do is go live with
when
when Jim's actually training.
yeah, he's here. Is it next Wednesday?
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to do that. Just
Yeah.
go live.
Oh, okay. Well then. Okay.
So-
Thank you. See
Cheers,
you.
mate. Thanks.
You just want.
So a little bit later in the day, on Wednesday the 8th, I think it is, Jim is doing a training session for everybody here in the roastery. He's got multiple different sessions during the day at different levels.
For our cafe partners.
Yeah, for our cafe partners. So basically every year we have a wholesale party and we have a competition. So we're letting people get a bit of training from Jim a couple of weeks before the latte art comp, just to see how they go. What's this? I just buy itself for this lady. Almond cap or an almond cap. Cheers. Hope you enjoy.
What's special about Jim?
Jim is our competition barista. So Jim is competing in November for the Australian Championship, which is fantastic. He's right now just getting his head around what he needs to do to get around the equipment. Oh, yep, go that way. Get the equipment sorted and ready for himself. Yeah, just starting to just practice basically, working his routine, working on his speech. He's pretty much got his coffee organised that he's going to be doing for espresso milk base. And he's got a signature drink that he's got to do for the competition as well. Just need another shot there for that one there. And so, yeah, for the next sort of 5 weeks, he'll be just concentrating on his routine and getting ready to compete. So certainly wish him all the best. I'm getting him some grinders that match the competition grinders, so he'll be able to play with that and just practice dialing in that coffee, 100% roasting it, working out how we can jump onto a different machine that he hasn't played with before, which we've been able to get someone to help us with that, which is great. I can't remember this guy's name, but anyway, there's one of Jim's friends that's got a full setup with the Barista Attitude machine that is used in the competitions. So we'll be able to get him practicing on that one and really having a good play with the machine on the grinder and everything before he gets into the competition space. All right, it really needs to speed up.
Hey Luke, what's the best way to store your coffee?
Fresh roasted coffee is not in a fridge, in a container that allows the gas to come out ideally and not allow oxygen to end up on top of it. That is a little bit shallow on that one. Because what happens if you don't have enough milk? You can't finish a pattern or do anything, so it's always helpful to get that right. Okay, so that is split. No, they've both got to go in that one.
Jarvid says, what type of roaster do you
what's
guys
this?
use?
Sorry. Oh, is that? Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Yep.
Oh, can you correct me?
Yep.
I thought I was going to do them, so I'll do my little lingo.
All right. Cool.
Do you want me to redo it?
No, it's all right. Sorry, I didn't put it in, so that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yep, we got there. Sorry, was that Ryan?
What type of roaster do we use?
We use an IMF roaster, and if you jump on to our YouTube channel, you'll see heaps of content on that. We have done the IMF factory. We went there 2 years ago. Hey, family. It's an IMF RM30, so it's a afterburner, which is then blowing the air in rather than a drum heat from the bottom, like a big gas burner. We don't have that in our roaster. So that will allow us to control the input of temperature specifically blowing across the beans. I think it gives a much better taste, to be honest. We don't get any sort of roasty flavours in our beans, which is fantastic. There you go, Dan. That is your half strength there. Yeah, so it's tasty, a bit more control, and I think it's the way of the future because you've only got one afterburner which processes the emissions essentially out the back, but we're also using that same heat to control the roasting process. So far more cost effective on gas, on electricity. They're super small, super compact. So yeah, really happy with that as a roaster. I wouldn't look to buy anything else, to be honest. They're pretty cool. Any other questions you got going on there?
Mate, we've got a few there.
Yeah.
Genuinely curious.
Yep.
Does Australia serve Americanos? Not
No.
really, no.
No, the Americano with the espresso at the bottom, hot water on the top, we just don't do it. We always put our espresso on the top, and the ratio of water to coffee is probably more precise as well with the Americanos. So, yeah, we like to see our crema, we like to taste the espresso that's on the top. Keeps a much better flavour for sure.
Daryl says, what are your recommendations for improving espresso that comes out a mix of sour and bitter?
Yeah, so this is interesting. We have that in our little training manual and we'll go through that yesterday with somebody. Sour and bitter is about how you taste coffee. So usually that will happen if the roast is really, really fresh. That can be an issue, or really, really old. So try and look at the age of that coffee and find out what's happening. Speeding up the extraction can be helpful, or slowing it down. And I know that's kind of giving you all the options, but until you know how much that coffee expands when water is added to it, and you get an understanding of the age of that coffee. So if it's expanding really, really high in your basket, and you do that by looking at how much grind is in your handle to start with. So if you're just below that line and you've extracted your shot and it's expanded way past it, and you've got a bit of a puck impression essentially, because it's expanding and hitting the shower screen. So if you get plenty of that look on the top of your puck, you've got really, really fresh coffee and it's expanding a lot. So the sourness most people taste in that moment is actually the gases that are still in the coffee and they haven't had a chance to come out. So yeah, you don't want to be making a change because it is fresh. If you're finishing extraction and it's still staying below that line and it's quite maybe wet on the top of the puck, it's probably because it's really old, an aged coffee, and it hasn't expanded. So it's probably more bitterness that you're getting. So yeah, you can change temperature as well, depending on the roast degree. But yeah, the sourness and bitterness is probably understanding which way to go from aged, old coffee, fresh coffee. That's probably how I work it out.
Friend Terence, F88.
Hey Terence, how you going, mate? Thanks for joining us again.
What's the best latte art cup to make latte art easier?
Best cup, did he say?
Yeah, like what's the best style of cup to make latte art easier?
Yeah, sure. Takeaways are really hard because they're really long and deep and they've got a flat base on them. So anything, the shorter you can get and more of a curved bowl, the better it's going to be. So that you can get your espresso, like I've had a little sip out of this one, but just as an example, the less that you have to, hey Chloe, how you going? Let's just give you an example.
Is a large cup included?
Yeah, for sure, yeah, so get the shot on. Yep. So the relationship between, that's really, really good now that's cooled down. That was the halo that we brewed earlier in the pour over. So if you are just pouring like this, your relationship angles aren't that great. And you're basically pouring into a flat surface from, not that too deep, but if you've got a takeaway, you could be pouring from right up the top. So you've got to try and create your canvas of your base and then not lose too much of your crema. But if you can tilt the angle of the cup and bring these two really close together, we can now pour deep into our espresso really, really easy. I like to go a little bit high and then down to low, especially when teaching, just trying to get people to pour a bit faster. A lot of people pour really slow, but that allows you to come down, get into the cup, get around it, create your base, and then foam only comes out when you go really low. See that? Really, really low, lift up, and then go away. All right? So that's the technique. Not a great pour, but if we do it again, on this next one here, we've got a dine-in mug.
Just full cream milk.
Full cream cap, is it?
Yep.
Yep. So, all right, we really need to speed up this extraction. So just ditch that one. The times are quite long. So we'll ditch that one.
Rod and I were playing around this morning
Yep.
because it wasn't running properly.
Yep.
Do you want me to? I'll let you just do.
No, so just do, no, you do it. I want you to do it,
Did you
yeah.
fix it?
Well, I made a change. I made it coarser. So it's taking nearly 15 seconds before it's pouring.
Yeah, I know.
So you need to speed it up. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Well, if you've got a...
Because Rod did fix it before, but now it's gone back to like the weird.
Yep. So we just popped in a new bag of beans. So the beans that were in there would have been from yesterday.
Yeah.
So that'll be a big difference between the two.
I didn't realise you did that.
It's all right.
Oh, it's not.
Do you want to wash that one out? I'll use that one.
You know what? Does it smell like you do your thing?
All right,
I'll step away from the coffee machine.
let's give this a go. All right, so we made a grind change. There we go, we're back to 6 seconds. We are good. All right, see how it's not choking, it's pouring through nicely. Yep, delish. All right. So we're going to do a full cream mug off a cappuccino. Getting a froth. Getting a good amount of foam. A lot of people don't get enough foam on cappuccinos these days and they just make lattes or flat whites with chocolates. Really get it spinning to fold that foam back through nice and glossy. Give it a chance to rest. A lot of people don't let it rest. And while you're resting, you can give yourself a little bit of a light dust. And letting that actually melt is the key. That's what we do in Australia. Put chocolate on our cappuccinos. Letting it just get a little bit matte, so not glossy anymore. And then if you, oh no, get this on your lens, but then tap it out like a hammer and you'll get some what I call milk fireworks. Then you can swirl it and it'll come back to that beautiful gloss. Okay? 1 or 2 little high-speed bubbles there which will tap out nicely. We've then got our chocolate that's all melted. Tilt your cup, come in high, get in around the cup. Gee, there's so many people watching me right now. There you go. And there's your... Look at the people watching me right now. And I'm here. That was like so much pressure. Anyway, I don't normally feel the pressure, but that was a bit wild for me. And anyway, I just like to then put a bit of chocolate like that on it, and our spoon. There we go, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Hope you enjoy.
Will do.
Okay. I'm good.
Okay, next question.
Next question, go for it.
Thoughts on a flat bottom brewers versus cone brewers?
Flat bottom brewer versus cone brewers, yeah.
V60 versus Kalita. I've been using a V60 for years and just got a Kalita and find it more forgiving.
Yeah, look, we don't use a lot of them, but in these here, chuck it up
They
there.
give you the two options in there, don't they?
Yeah, they do. So we yeah, this is really where we use them essentially. For pour overs and everything, we all use the cone shapes, but in the Brewer range, either the previous Precision Brewer or this Lux Brewer have this shape. So that does work. I don't know, I think it's pretty good. As you said, probably quite forgiving. If you're going to go for a pour over, I believe there's different options that you can use. And then you've got this one here, which we don't use that one very often. We use this one. But essentially that's probably what you're talking about, the big flat base. We like sort of this one a bit more, but probably need to play with it a little bit more, see what's going on, see the flavour that comes out of that. Technically what's happening, I guess it's a lesser depth of coffee because it'll be more surface area and flatter, where this will be, you know, deeper and more concentrated. Better, worse, I don't know. Maybe some experiments to be done. There might be some other videos out there talking about that more, but it's not something we play with a lot. We don't tend to have those big flat doily style papers for us. But yeah, it's about all I can tell you on that. I'm sorry. Next generation of coffee. Look at this. Two young fellas. This is Archie, my eldest.
Soaking it all up.
Hugo, my youngest. School holidays, they get to come in and play here for a little bit. But you going to friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, go and hang out with friends. So that's cool.
How's your latte art, Archie?
Come on,
You can pour on camera.
come on.
Let's have a go, mate.
Let's put him under it. He always says he wants to compete in the in the latte art competition at. I'll froth the milk and everything for you. How's that?
No, I can.
All right, froth the milk. Come on, froth the milk. Are you going to handle? All right, here we go. He's 13. No pressure, Archie. No pressure. It's World Coffee Day, just to let you know.
I know.
Hey? Latte art, World Coffee Day. Give it a go.
Chip off the old block.
Are you pouring what cup are you using? Are you getting a mug? Yeah, go for it. Yep.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I want to make this a small latte.
Yeah, for sure.
On a double in there, might have a bit too much espresso.
Oh, it's a big mug. It's all right. Good for a try. Whoop. I'll make the mum one as well. We'll pour off. Right, you're going frothy milk. That's going to go fine. Yep.
What pattern are you going to pour, Archie?
No, probably. Something I don't know how to
We'll
do.
see what happens.
Just lift up, lift up. That's it. Okay, nice, nice, nice. Take your time. No, just take your time. Just do whatever you can do. Don't try and do anything crazy. Just do normal stuff. You got it. Cool. Pop another heart in. Go push in there and then go another one. Go. Go low. Fast. Lift up. That's it. Woo!
Hey, not bad.
Hey.
So good.
Well done.
There's one on the side there.
It's been a while. All right. In, around the cup, get a good base happening.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. It's not too bad for Mum. Yeah, nice little fine little lines.
Can I use this small jug now?
You can deliver that to Mum. You made a mug.
Yeah,
There you go.
No, but I want to do the small jug. It's so much easier.
All right. There you go. Bit of family fun here. Big. Oh, mate. Do you know what a bad tradesman always blames his tools? Did you know that?
No, it's me. I haven't done it in like 2 years.
That's all right.
Hey,
Alright.
quick question for you, Luke.
Yep.
What does the Y in the drip spout serve a purpose, or is it for fancies?
What is the what? Sorry, what?
So does the Y in the drip spout serve a purpose, or is it for fancies?
Why in the drip spouts?
Like I'm guessing the double spout, like the.
Oh yeah, no, it's just so it can split and then allocate the width into the two different cups. You've got two cups side by side. You need to be able to have the space to be able to separate them. We don't split shots very often. We basically keep them into one cup and do a double or a double ristretto. We don't do a lot of dine-ins here because we only have a small shop. We get people coming in, but yeah, definitely more takeaways is what we this size here basically. But they're a little bit larger than our dining cups, so we always put a double ristretto in an 8 ounce, double in a 12, and 3 shots into our 16. So making sure the ratio to milk and coffee works really well.
Chris says, my first coffee shop opens in 3 weeks. What's the best piece of advice you can give?
If you're an owner, have a day off before you open. Because once you open those doors and you're busy, it's just going to get crazy. So take a moment for yourself. Enjoy life pre-opening, owning a cafe that does long days, early starts, late afternoons. So that's something, a personal moment you're going to have for yourself. But just make sure that you listen to your customers. Don't practice on your customers. Make sure you've got 100% ready before you open. If you don't have yourself 100% ready, don't open. Give yourself another day. Don't practice on your customer because the first 10 people in the door are going to be the ones that want the best experience. They're going to tell all their friends about it. They know that you're going to open because they're local and they're around the area. So that rumour mill of what happens in the area, you've got to make sure those first 10 are spot on and give you the best experience because that's the key there for sure.
Cool. We've got Haley says, "G'day guys. When pouring my latte art, I seem to struggle to set the base or canvas. Any advice for that?"
Yeah, probably timing is the key. A lot of people either sit their milk way too long or they haven't frothed and got it spinning after they created the froth. So they're the two issues that you're going to have. So if you've got it spinning, that froth will fold back into the liquid. It'll allow you to pour it out more evenly. Or if you don't get it to spin, essentially you've got your foam that'll end up in the top of the jug and you're pouring out thin water. So then that thin liquid, I should say, and it doesn't make the base. So that can be an issue, but also pouring fast enough. Actually, Archie was just pouring there at the start in that mug. If you had a look, he was pouring a little bit slow at the start, which means he didn't get a suction of that flow coming out of the jug to pull the foam out, and that can stop the base as well. So I always say pour faster. You can slow down, but a lot of people pour way too slow. Get a reaction in the cup. Get a flow happening that you're controlling. So pour fast and slow down, and you'll do better.
My friend Terence over in Scotland said, "Well done, Archie.
Yep.
Good job, mate." He also wants to know how many holes are in our steam wand.
Four in a Lamazocco. Yep. But that's all relative to the size of the steam wand, the thickness of it, and the size of the boiler as well. Because a lot of people think they have more holes on a domestic machine, but that will just deplete your steam a lot quicker.
Yep. David also says, "Nice one, Archie. You get my vote." Robbo, "Hey, for an authentic flat white, do you pull 2 separate shots? Thanks from the UK."
Well, typically the flat white was a strong, small cup, and it was a stronger shot, so it might have been a double or a double ristretto with a lower, smaller amount of milk, but now it's just become espresso and milk depending on the cup size you have. So I would typically, yes, say it is a stronger. So either a double ristretto, not a split shot, or a double. But just ask the customer and then charge them for the extra shot if you can.
My mistake, Terence. I'm sorry, I forgot. Ireland.
Ireland. Ireland, that's it.
Sorry, mate.
That's cool.
Daryl says, "Do you have espresso machine recommendations for someone who is planning to open up a cafe, looking for something reliable and not wildly expensive?"
Yeah, depending on where you are in the brands. you know, we have people that are just trying to, you know, start out. The best value machine that we have here for trailers or small cafes that are just, you know, an ancillary, essentially coffee, not just focused on coffee. Because if you're focused on coffee, you've got to have a good machine. If that's your business, you've got to make it right. So you do have to buy a better machine to get a better flavour. But we look at the Expo Bar ranges. They're pretty good. You know, big HX sort of style boiler machine. Not bad steam, low power, so there's a lot of flexibility there if you need to be moving around or anything.
Jimmy actually did a good video on that if you look it up recently. So we got the Boxer, the Rocket Boxer.
Yeah, the Rocket Boxer,
the Zoe,
yep.
And the Expo Bar.
Yeah, and the Expo Bars.
3 main machines he focused on in that video.
Yeah, check those out, they're all great. We get to go and see the Rocket factory actually, in a couple of weeks. We're going to go there, which is cool, so we'll see where those commercial rockets are made. They're a great machine, I must admit. Good value, reasonably priced. Yeah, pretty excited to talk to the engineers and techs over there at the factory about that. John? Any other questions?
That's about it, mate. We might nearly wrap it up, eh?
All right. Happy World Coffee Day, everyone. Hope you're enjoying great coffee today. And just give love to anybody who's serving you today, the barista, or if you're anything to do with farms or importers or whatever, just say, hey, thanks for the support of that whole chain, because if it doesn't start here with a coffee cherry, all right, from a grower to being able to process it, import it, and then get to people like us who can roast, and then baristas who can make a great cup of coffee, we won't have World Coffee Day anymore. So yeah, give the love out there, and hope you're enjoying a great brew.
Don't forget, 20% off.
20% off, online, today only, one day. Woo! Enjoy.
Yep.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Have a
Catch
good
you
one,
next
guys.
time. Cheers,
See ya.
bye.